Guys, so today I'm gonna be working on this old junk lawnmower. Um, it actually runs, believe it or not. So basically, I'm gonna give it a good clean up. I gotta replace the wheel. I gotta do some things to it. Needs to be washed off, and I'm not really gonna sit here and let you see the whole work on the thing because this is gonna be a much longer job than just 10 minutes or 20. So I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna take it apart. I'm gonna fix this. Underneath this thing is absolute terrible shape, so I gotta fix it. But the motor still runs. It runs decent, so can't complain about that. So when I get this thing all fixed up, I'll come back. I'm gonna go ahead and drain the oil, and I'm gonna go ahead and drain the oil and the gasoline. I'm gonna fix that wheel, and then I'll come back. Um, Drain the oil is pretty straightforward. Drain the gasoline is pretty straightforward. So I'll go ahead and do all that and come back and see what we got. Okay, guys. So cleaned out the mirror of the deck. Did my um, basically cleaned up the um, blade real good. Get all that junk out from under there. Everything else, and so when I get that wheel put back on, and I'm gonna clean out from under here just a little bit more, and I'm gonna put the blade back on, put a little grease on the bolt, and when I get that done, I'll be back. But just letting you know the progress. All right, guys. So real quick, I'm gonna be putting this oil, Mattel T5, in this mower. I bought this oil specifically just for this mower. I'm not going to use this in anything else I got because it's diesel engine oil. Most people would think I'm crazy, but I'm going to explain some stuff about that diesel engine oil in the last part of the video real quick. And I just want to show you the transformation. She looks pretty good. Put new wheels on it. Fixed the front wheels. Everything is bad. Sharpen the blade. Give it a quick cleaning. You never want to over clean something. Never over clean something. It's not good for it at all. Other than that, let me just go ahead and then I also bought the plug and everything. I put this in after I put some gas, and I put the oil in the thing, and that I know of, it takes 16 ounces. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this red Solo cup. Go ahead and pour the oil in there because that'll be 16 ounces, a half quart, and then I'll come back as soon as I get the oil to proper level. It needs to be the proper level too. Don't overfill your thing. Okay. Everyone's different, but they most times it's usually with this kind like this. So cheapos, you kind of screw it all the way in, then you unscrew it. Compared to just tap it down in there and find out if it's got oil. This one had too much oil. It was causing oil to do blow by. And I'm kind of wondering if it has a little scoring going on with the cylinder wall. So when you put this stuff in there, it helps to rejuvenate these old engines back up a little bit longer, and you get a few more, 3 to 4, 5, 6 more good years out of these things. And this one doesn't have a bent shaft either, so it should be good. Just give me a minute and I'll be back. Okay, so now I'm just going to explain to you what you need to do. I'm not going to clean out this area too much. It is a little bit dirty, a little bit more dirty than I'd ever like it to be anyway. But I'm not going to clean it out too much. As long as it doesn't get down in there, that should be alright. That's kind of oily anyway. And make sure I grab the right filter, which I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, it fits right in there. Okay, so what you want to do, see I got a little bit of oil left. These foam filters, they don't have enough oil, they don't have enough filtration by themselves. So you want to take and put just a speck of oil on these filters, and this oil is kind of thick. It's really thick, greasy. I mean, when they say it's heavy duty, it means heavy duty, and it is, believe me. So what you want to do is you want to take this oil, and you want to kind of get it on this oil filter really good, and then you just take it, sit it on down in there like that. It's got a brand new oil filter now, air filter I mean, and cover. It's back here. I'm just gonna put the cover on it now. Shouldn't have no reason to take it back off. I might, I don't know. And there we go. Okay, now you don't have to do this. This is entirely up to you. If you want to just buy a cheapo Champion plug, you can. But I opted out for $1.50 more for the better plug. And really, the reason why that is sort of a split fire plug. This is made by E3. These are supposed to be pretty good plugs. But the reason why I put the E3, bought the E3 is they're just Champion because I couldn't find Champion. And I'd be danged if I want to go to a Lawnmower supply place to buy the Champion. So I just opted out. I'll go ahead and put this in there. Get this on there. I'll be right back. I think I need to tighten that wheel up a little bit more that I fixed. So I'll do that too. And I'll be right back. Okay guys, so after tightening that wheel back up, I put brand new wheels back on it. Make sure you can, on the back side, face you down just a little more. You see I put new wheels on the back side back here, and now I'm gonna prime the gas up. I put 7, it only takes 3, but I put 7 in there. We'll see if I can get her started now. See how it does. Notice how it idled down. It's kind of choking itself a little bit, but notice how I got it leveled out. And I'm gonna call that a successful repair. See that diesel oil? It didn't hurt it any. I'm gonna give it another cranklet here. That diesel oil in there. You hear it doesn't hurt any. I mean, expect me to sit here and blow and throw a ride. No, it's actually way better for these old lawnmowers. It has to be real old. It can't be nothing new. If you put this stuff in something new, it's not really going to be good for it. But if you put it in something old like this, it's going to be okay. Just keep an eye out. Watch this. Runs like a champ. Okay guys, so I wanted to make that video real quick and make this whole video to tell you some of some of the mistakes people make with their lawnmowers. And you see me just rebuild that mower right then. Well, get it back going again. I didn't do a complete rebuild because I didn't think the motor needed a complete rebuild. You know, to do a rebuild on that one, I just don't know if it'd be worth it. I think it may need a carburetor later on, which I've already looked online. It's between $22 and $27 for that carb. And see, $22 and $28 for that carb, which that'd be a good investment. The engine certainly seems to run strong and good from what I could tell with a certain kind of special oil in it. But I want to tell you the maintenance info on your mower. This goes for basically any mower. I don't care if you got a riding mower. I don't care if you got a I don't care if you got a push mower. I don't care if you got a push mower that's got self-propelled. I don't care if it's a ZTR. This goes for any mower. All right. So every well, there are some commercial mowers that varies just a little bit. You don't have to take it in. You don't have to do so much of that because it's a commercial mower. But on generally speaking, homeowners, just plain old homeowners mowers, you need to do an oil change every 15, somewhere around about 15 to 20 hours. About let's just push it on out to 20 hours. So that means, let's say that you mow for an hour a week. That's 20. That's 20 weeks, and that's probably roughly about half. That's probably roughly about close to over half the mowing season, and then you'll do another one. So you need them to keep the track of how much hours you put on one. So every 20, let's say, some people say 15 hours, but every 20 hours, I'm going to call it. You need to change the oil. You need to get the oil cleaned up, get it out of there, and change it. Because, Inka, what are you doing? Inka, get up here. Come here. She's over there laughing and making noise, trying to be a beau. Come here, little guy. He wants up here too. Yeah, he wants up here too. Hey, Ben. Yeah. Sorry, but yeah, he. Basically, basically you need to do that oil change every 20 hours. Well, when you do your oil change, what you need to do is you need to also take the plug out. And when you take the plug out, take some carburetor cleaner and just take and spray it down with carburetor cleaner, and then just use a toothbrush and just toothbrush it. Okay. Now, as far as gasoline, a lot of people don't seem to understand something about gasoline and engines. There's two kinds of gasoline, and I wouldn't recommend just going out buying any high test gas. That doesn't make no sense why you would buy high test gas. But generally speaking, just use regular gasoline. But if you can possibly at all find ethanol free. Ethanol free gas will be a much better gas. It will have a much better it'd be much better on the carburetor. Carbureted vehicles and carbureted lawnmowers and stuff, they don't like ethanol. Ethanol is tough on them. So if you can find ethanol free, and you can put ethanol free in your lawnmower, you'll be way better off. The ethanol will kind of gum up after a while. It's basically all ethanol is basically what you would say corn liquor. It's basically moonshine, basically. So it's nothing more than hardly moonshine. I mean, it's ethanol. It's basically nothing hardly more than moonshine. It's not really made. It's not really good. It's not really good stuff for gasoline, because ethanol is just not good. It's not good really for engines, hardly at all. It just doesn't hurt. It just doesn't hurt fuel injected engines, in which most cars and stuff like that on the road today are fuel injected. And it won't necessarily hurt old carbureted trucks and cars, but it's not good for them either. At the same time, it's just not great, because it just kind of gums up things. So, I mean, your motor is not really meant to run on that stuff as well. Okay, so all right, now let's say it like this: every 20 hours, you change your oil fill. You change your oil. Every 20 hours, change your oil. Every time you change your oil, you take the spark plug out, clean it, and if you have to, you need to replace it. Replace it. Clean the oil, clean the air filter. When you change your oil, change your spark plug. When you clean your spark plug, you clean the air filter. If you have to replace it, replace it. You probably should about one time a year anyway. Oil's not that expensive, okay? It's just not. It's not. I mean, you buy whatever oil you're going to run in that mower, and you can have it forever. Okay. Well, for a long time anyway. So, some of the big lawn tractors will be 1/4 oil. Some of the Smaller lawnmowers will be between 16 to 21 ounces of oil, which is either half a quart or a little bit more than a half quart. The all right, so all right, now let's just go into talking about what kind of oil should you run in your mower. Well, when you first get that mower, for the first 50 hours or so of the mower, you don't have to, but you can go ahead and start running the synthetic right off the bat. I do not recommend you run synthetic straight off the bat, but you can do that. But if you're going to basically start running, basically when you first get your mower, for the first 50 hours of getting that mower, which basically means 2 oil changes, and that would be basically roughly 1 quart of oil. You just want to run plain old oil. And you want to know which brand I recommend? I recommend oil. I don't recommend a certain brand. You're just going to waste it anyway. So then after that, once you get that done, then switch it over to a full synthetic oil. Okay? Now, a full synthetic oil, you can buy just a cheap Walmart brand, and you can buy a big 5-quart oil change. And just full synthetic oil. And once you run that, and after that mower gets, let's say, 4 good seasons of that kind of oil run through it, then you can go on to buying. You might notice it start using a little bit of oil. So once it starts using a little bit of oil, switch it over to something called, you need to check the oil too every time you go out there and crank it up. You need to check the oil every single time. So then you switch it over to something called high mileage. Then you're going to take that and you're going to run that for 3 or 4 more years. So you've already got 6, 7, 8 years here of your mower's life of time, mowing time. So you got 6, 7, 8 years. Provided that you don't hit nothing big, provided that you don't hit stumps, provided that you don't go doing nothing stupid. You got 6, 7, 8 years of good mowing in with just those 3 kinds of oil. So now we're on the very final stage. All right, this is the last 3 or 4 or 5 years of its life, and it's starting to use oil a little worse. You're starting to notice it's lacking power. It's not one to crank as good as it used to, stuff like that. And then you finally buy this stuff right here, and you can either choose Rotilla or you can choose Mobile Dulvec. You can also choose, I think the Chevron does okay too. But you can now. I bought the T5 because the T5 was on sale. It was like $3 cheaper than the white jug. Now you can either buy the white jug, the T4. You can buy the T5. You can buy the T5. Or you can buy the T6. I kind of don't recommend you buy the T6. I mean, if you're already doing that high mileage, that's called a synthetic blend. This is a synthetic blend. So basically, this stuff is very, very good. Whenever a motor gets old and they get worn out, it creates that lubrication in there. It helps to keep it running smoothly and clean. It also takes up that gap between the piston and the cylinder walls. Now, when you first start out your mower, you probably need to start out with something like, say, depending on where you're at, you could be in deep South Florida. You might just need to be running some kind of 30 weight oil, which is probably what I would do. Just run 30 weight oil, and then what you get on up there, but then 30 weight oil to begin with, and then I'd probably switch it over to 10W30 oil. I'd probably switch it over to 10W30 synthetic oil. And then as you get to the high mileage, I'd probably put 10W40 in it. And then finally, on that last little bit, I would put the 15W40. Now, they got this stuff in a straight 30 weight. They've also got this stuff in a 10W30 weight. It's entirely up to you. But I would not put straight 30 in it because once that starts getting cold, it is tough. And now with this stuff, once you start putting this in your mower, and it starts getting colder weather, and you want to get out there and mow, please, you have to crank it up. Just sit it out there in the yard and just let it warm up because it will be very cold natured. This stuff is very good about the heat. So And it doesn't matter what plug you run. I had to buy the more expensive plug because I could not find the plug that basically come with it, which was the Champion, Briggs & Stratton Champion. I could not find a Champion plug, so I just went ahead and bought the upgraded plug, which is basically a split fire, and it seems to really run good with that, and the oil put in it. So if I was you, but you know, I had to fix the wheel. I had to sharpen the blade. I had to clean up the bottom side of it. I had to do all that. But I'm just giving you a routine maintenance. And this is entirely up to everybody. This is entirely up to everybody how they do their own thing. But I'm just saying what I would do. And if I was you, I would just go ahead and make sure you keep that oil changed. That's probably the biggest life of the engine, especially on the more lawnmower engines. They have no way to get cool. They have no cooling system. They have no antifreeze. They have nothing like that. They only rely on good quality oil. Good quality oil and good quality gasoline with a good quality air filter and a good spark plug. And if you don't do that, well, every 3 to 4 years, save up your money because you're going to be buying a new mower. Anyway, that's my keys for giving you my choices of a good mower. I didn't really have a choice about replacing the plug. I think I still got that plug. I had to take it with me. But well, I guess I could have kept this old plug. I just didn't like the way it looked. It was a little too black for me. So, and as you can see, that's the old plug that come out of it. I just didn't like the way that one looked. It's pretty burnt up. So I just thought to myself it's probably losing some of its life, and I just went ahead and replaced it. And as for the air filter, I pulled it straight out of there because it was soaking wet in oil. And what happened to it, I have no idea. I think they threw it away. Anyway, take it easy, be good, get at it. I hope you enjoyed the video. And tomorrow, I will be making a video talking about economic stuff. But as of right now, this video is meant for lawnmower educational purposes. Okay, take it easy, good, get at it.